Hey there, Contractor Kev here with Overseas Contractor Academy. Kind of the best, hopefully, maybe informational video channel about working overseas. So I'm back in black this week, thank God. I feel more comfortable, this is my thing. But this week, I want to start a series, and I'm probably going to go ahead and film it as 1, 2, 3, but it would be way too long to put it all in one, so we'll drip feed it out for 3 sort of different videos. And I'm going to call it like the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so what I'm going to do is these are going to be like tales from overseas jobs, experiences I've had, and basically just kind of showing what some of the experiences can be. And the big thing, especially with the bad and the ugly, is again, me sharing some of these experiences so you guys can learn from them. And, the biggest thing is like, to me, in life, school of hard knocks means you go out there and make every mistake yourself, keep hitting your head against the wall, and you don't learn from others. The smart way is to learn from others so that you don't have to make all those mistakes, right? So that's kind of what this is going to be about, is like telling a good story, because I don't want you guys to think that it's like all going to be a struggle and it's all negative, but also a bad one and then a really ugly one. So let's roll the bumper and get started. Okay, so this week we're going to do the good. And so the good for me was my second contractor job ever, and that was in Qatar. And it was really good for several reasons. The best thing, of course, was that I got along really super well with my boss. She was probably one of the best bosses I ever had my entire career. She walked that line between being a boss, but also being super cool and super friendly and being a buddy as well as a boss. And she cultivated that, that idea that we're on a team, we have a job to do as a team, and her job is just to kind of get us all rowing in the right direction and make sure nothing falls through the gaps. And because of that, she didn't see herself as like not part of the team or somehow higher up than us or better than us. She was just like, it was the best attitude to have, and it motivated us to work really hard for her, and everyone got along. So that was like probably right off the bat one of the best experiences I've ever had with any boss everywhere I've been was in Qatar, working for Rhonda Fallon. And Rhonda, serious man, I got big love for you still all these years later. You were great. So the second thing was that in Qatar I was on a full expat package, and we were living and working in the city, which was of course a unique experience for me at the time. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment to myself. I had my own car. I had a gas card that was accepted at a couple of different chains, gas station chains, and they would direct bill the company for that. So I didn't have to pay for gas. I was given the phone. I was, internet, everything I needed, I was there. So I was basically living tax-free, expense-free in a city, my own apartment, my own freedom. And that part was really cool to me. Like, that was all new, and I was just like, how sweet is this contractor thing? Like, it was just so awesome to me, especially coming out of Mosul and that really negative experience I had there, to like suddenly get along with my boss and have a 2-bedroom apartment and my own car, and like I had weekends off, I could go do what I wanted. Like, that part was super cool to me. So that was another big positive about that job. Another really cool positive thing about this good experience I had in Doha, Qatar, is that there the international hotels have bars and they're allowed to serve alcohol. And at the time, I was much younger, and that really appealed to me, being able to like, if we did have a week where it was like we had a deadline, maybe we worked some extra hours, we worked hard, maybe we stressed out a little bit or whatever, we could all go just like have beers on a Friday night, man. That was like badass, right? So it was just really cool to be able to hit like the Sheraton or the Hilton or whatever, go hit the bar and have a couple of beers after work and just relax, and then order some food, and we're just chilling. Like that kind of thing, it's not going to be possible when you're, well, in Kuwait there's no alcohol at all, but like Iraq and Afghanistan and a lot of other places, it's not so easy to get that, whereas Doha did have that. And so I was just like blown away, like, damn, like, you know, it would be, you know, some kind of sporting event or whatever, and like me and some people from work could meet up at the Hilton or go to the Sheraton or wherever and like have beers and watch stuff on the ESPN or whatever. And man, that was just cool, dude. That to me was worth, you know, quite a lot in terms of like lifestyle and just making me feel good about being there. So again, it was a really big deal. Okay, and the last thing, which was super, super cool about being in Doha, was that I went online through Facebook groups and I found a jiu-jitsu club. And so I showed up and started learning jiu-jitsu, and it was a very, very interesting experience because obviously I'm a bigger guy. And if you've never been to a fight gym, you know, one of the sayings is usually leave your ego at the door. But even then, there's always like this sort of, if you're a big guy, a smaller guy kind of likes to teach you a lesson, like, oh, you think you're a big guy and you're a tough guy and you know how to fight. And then of course you get on the mats and get in the ring or whatever and realize that, oh wow, I might be a big guy, but I don't know how to fight. And so you get beat up by the little guys for quite a while, and that's just part of, you know, indoctrination, I guess you could say, but you've got to learn to get rid of that ego. And a little guy loves to tap out big guys and just choke them and threaten to break their limbs and stuff. And, you know, you can't blame them. This is just part of going through what you got to go through, right? But one of the coolest things about doing jiu-jitsu in Qatar was that I was the only white dude. I was the only one without a beard, and I was the only non-Muslim. So I walked in there and I'm just like, oh, wow, okay, like I'm definitely the outsider here, you know? But it's kind of like Seraph, you know, he's got a line in The Matrix where he's like, you don't truly know someone until you fight them. And that really did kind of hold true because the guys, it wasn't a huge group, there was maybe 10 or 12 of us, you know, but you learn their different personalities through fighting them. And you learn like, okay, this guy is maybe very clever and he's thinking 2 moves ahead, so, you know, he's very calculated in what he's doing, or this guy likes to brute strength it, you know, because that's what, like, before you develop technique and like planning, all you've got is strength, so you use it, right? But you got other people that like go super hardcore, like they were from a wrestling background and that's all they learned is like aggression, you know, and so they go after it that way. But you have all these different personality types, and you might have the little guy that is, you know, a purple belt that loves tapping out the big white belt guys that just walked in. And it was cool though, you know, like what you learn after a while is everyone's just a human being, and most people just want the same shit out of life, like peace and quiet, you know, some stability, some personal safety, and, you know, friggin' have a family and raise kids if that's the way you want to go, or, you know, be single and be peaceful and not have all that kind of stuff on you. But most people just kind of want to live a peaceful, normal life. And so me being in that gym for a year, 3 nights a week for a couple of hours at a time, and then we started like hanging out sometimes outside the gym, and I got invited to people's houses a couple times. And what you learn is you start seeing behind the facade of what we normally see in the West is depicted as Muslims. And what I mean by that is, quite honestly, in most Hollywood movies, there's not a lot of good guy Muslims, you know? Whereas if you go to the Middle East and you start meeting some normal, you know, people that are, you know, following Islam, like, you go, oh, you know, he goes and prays 5 times a day, but you know what? He still feeds his children, he's still got a job, he's still trying to figure life out. And this is something that helps him navigate, you know, life in a way that's more positive. Great. You know, like, why would you think that that somehow automatically just makes them bad? It's just silly, right? So that was really kind of like the biggest, deepest, most awesome thing that I experienced in Qatar, was learning to look beyond the fact that, like, oh, you know, there's Muslim guys, Arabic beards, you know, all that stuff, and come and find out, like, wow, these are super cool people, and there's a lot of stuff that I could learn from them. So yeah, that was just an awesome cultural experience. And again, good because, you know, boss good, job good, location good, and the jiu-jitsu and the learning I experienced and the people I met and the insights I gained. It was just an all-around awesome job. Even if I didn't negotiate the stupid contract, you know, I didn't get the right pay level that I probably should have, I was very, very happy with that whole year. Like, it was just great. So there you have it. Okay, so that wraps up part 1 of 3, the good. So, and next week it'll be the bad, and then the week after will be the ugly. So that's gonna be it for this week. Until next time, roll up your sleeves, get to work, go to the website, get the information, get the knowledge, get the tools. Go become an overseas contractor. I'm telling you, it will change your life.